That's right, folks. It's a shocking good time. Hold on, there we go. It's a shocking good time. So, sorry we're late today. It's been a crazy day. We went and spent time with Grandma. We played Uno Attack, and then we took her out to eat. We had a great day together. I think it was good for her to get her out of the house. She's been spending a lot of time in the house, and she's always got an excuse why we can't come up. So I told her, I said, guess what? Sunday, when can we come up? And she said, well, I get out of church at noon. I said, good. We'll be there at 1 o'clock to give you time to settle in. There wasn't no, hey, can we come up? I made it happen. So we had a fun time. Like I said, we played Uno Attack. The look on her face was great when the card shot out of it at her, and she was like, ah! So without further ado, we're gonna we're gonna jump on in and hit the sponsors real quick. I apologize for coming on late again. Like I said, I kind of lost track of time spending time with her because family's important, and I kind of missed that 8 o'clock. Oops. So I apologize, guys, and I apologize to the guests tonight for that. So that's not me, but it happens. So anyway, we've got Codex Entertainment LLC with Luis Torres. Check out Ace and Starlet, Lily the Demoness, Nebula Pearl, and Whispers in Acropolis. VRXOXO2 is live right now. There's a link in the description above. And we've also got Oh man, we've got all kinds of great stuff. We got Naughty Fairies with Miss Wendy Steen Chandler. Check out Naughty Fairies. Go check out the Etsy link. You can get all the. All right, my cats are screaming. You can get all the back issues on her Etsy link in there, as well as some of the special day stuff like Stripper Day and stuff like that. You can see the cat in the background right there. You can see the shadow, and the head is right there. Now she's gone. So anyway, so we got Outpost 426 with CV Zane and Michael Shoemaker. Check out Scorpiana and Into the Suck, as well as Black Rabbit, which just funded on Kickstarter like over 1,000 backers, 56K. Insane. You guys are going to want to check it out if you missed it. We got Doris Jones Labor of Love. Check out DorisJonesLaborofLove.com and get all those great paintings that she has available. Hit up her for a commission, anything like that. DorisJonesLaborofLove.com. So go check it out. We got Hasm Productions with Rodney Fike and Tina. Check out Pitter Patter, Peanut Pudding and Jelly, and Roadkill Rampage. Roadkill Rampage 2 just tore up the Kickstarter circuit a few months ago. It has been fulfilled and will be added to the store soon. So you guys should check that out at hazzum.com. We also have Russ Explode Studios charity auctions for CB4K. Sorry, brain fart. It froze up on me. Check out Russ Explode Studios charity auctions for CB4K. Guys, thank you so much. CB4K Day. We raised $800 for the kids. That's a ton of money for them to be able to ship out boxes of comics, Pez dispensers, pop figurines, and all that good stuff to cancer centers and hospitals across the nation. So thank you so much for everybody who donated something, for everybody who bid on the stuff up for auction. And if you want to check out what we have left, please go to my profile page. There's a link pinned at the top, or you can check out Russ Explode Studios charity auctions for CB4K. Everything is posted up on there too. Or you can hit me up if you'd like to donate an item to auction off. Thank you very much, everyone, for making it such a success. So, all right, we're going to bring the guest out. I've talked enough. What is going on, Matt?
How's it going? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Like I said, again, I apologize for being late. I'm going to go run upstairs. I think my wife's home. I'm going to steal my phone back so I can share this stream out. That would help. And I'm gonna let the screaming Mimi out. Hey, it's okay. She's so excited. Nobody's been home all day, and she gets upset. You know, gotta love animals. But speaking of animals, you've got Moby Dick. Moby Dick. There. Hi,
We're gonna
Bubba. Good night.
send
Give me a
that one.
hug. Oh yeah, we got Moby Dick, guys. He's like a dick and a geek at the same time. So we just coined a new phrase. It's Moby Dick. Good night, sissy. I love you, baby. Mwah. Hope you had fun at Grandma's. Yeah, I have attained my phone of power. I have returned with the sacred phone of sharing. Gotta love it. Yeah, I just coined something new. We got Moby Dick. Uh, he's the cooler version of Moby Dick. He's not such a dick. He's more of a geek, but he's still a dick. So, we had to retain some of the original title to keep it going, folks. That's how it goes. No, we got Moby Dick Tales of the Deep live on Kickstarter.
It's actually Back from the Deep,
Back
really.
from the Deep. Yes, you're right.
Yep.
Jesus, I'm fired. Everyone. All right, I'm out. This is your show now, Matt.
Oh, don't do that.
I'm just
Anyway, here it is
kidding.
again. Here it is again.
Here it is again. Hold on. Let me read that title. Moby Dick Back from the Deep. Yeah, see, I put Dick and Deep together. It came out Deep. I mean, what am I doing? So the burning questions. You know, this is not your first time doing this book here. A lot of people are familiar with the book, but not a lot of people are familiar with you, who you are, some of the stuff that you're into, how you ended up into this comic venture. So I'd like to kind of start out with, when did you first get into comic books? When did comic books become such a burning passion for you? And kind of a two-part question. What book is the book that really caught your eye and was like your first favorite?
Okay. Um, I think comics, I got into them probably when I was about 10 years old, when I discovered a little book out there some people from that era might be familiar with called Death of Superman. You can do the math on how old I am with that to see if I got all that right. But anyway, I
111. Man,
yeah,
you're old.
yeah, gosh, ugh, aging
Carry the
gracefully though.
one, add a zero. Oh, wait, I was doing Shady Lady math. My bad.
This is my 38th, 29th birthday. Yes, but
38th, 29th. I knew it.
uh,
And a
but anyway,
half.
yeah. But anyway, yeah, I discovered that book, and ironically, I read it because I wanted to see Superman die, and then I just became a huge Superman fan because of it, and to this day, I love Superman. But that's what really probably was the catalyst for me getting into comics, developing an appreciation for just telling stories through that medium. And I have always been a fan of horror novels and books and movies, TV shows, everything. I was the kid in first grade who had a folder with Freddy Krueger. I don't know if kids still have folders these days or not, but when I went, we did, and I had Freddy on mine. Nobody else did, and I was super proud of that. I grew up on Tales from the Crypt, discovered that when it
Yes.
came to cable television, came on Fox. I've never forgotten that. That was the greatest night of my young life. That was at a time when, for little boys, the disclaimer that said viewer discretion is advised, what that actually meant was stay tuned for something awesome. And
Yeah, exactly.
I sure did. I stayed tuned for something awesome. It was awesome. But that's where really it's a twofold thing for me, comics and horror, because I loved comics, and then I already loved horror, and then I sort of discovered that you can actually have horror comics as well, and they're really, really fantastic. And so, yeah, and just kept discovering more horror comics and more horror books and stories that I liked. And when I started doing my own, uh, it was going to be horror stories because that's what I like. That's what I like to tell. So here we are with a zombified version of Moby Dick.
Zombie Dick. Whoa, that sucks. Whoa, wait a minute. So I gotta ask. So the burning question for me is, so back in our day, we didn't have like telephones that had, this great stuff where you could watch videos, you could do interviews, you could do stuff on it. When I was a kid, I would watch Tales from the Crypt and the Three Stooges. Now, mind you, everybody knows those came on super late at night and we were in school. So we didn't have these handy dandy cell phones that had TV apps on them. I had this little bitty black and white TV that plugged in the wall with an antenna that my parents got free from going through one of those timeshare places.
Oh man.
That's what I watched. That's what I watched this stuff on. And see, guys, there's an issue with that. It was black and white, which meant it was bright as fuck. So, like, my whole room would be lit up, and they'd get up in the middle of the night, and they'd be like, "You better turn your light off," and I'd hurry up and throw the blanket over the TV. I'm like, "Oh shit, you gotta turn it down. Somebody's up." And then they would go to bed, and I'd pull it back up, and it'd be like, you know. So, what did you watch it on, or did your parents just let you stay up and watch the stuff?
By the time Moby Dick was, or excuse me, by the time Tales from the Crypt was coming on, I think they stopped really fighting it. I was going to watch it regardless, because yeah, by that point I was staying up. Anytime there was any sort of horathon, where like it'd be an all night marathon of horror movies, I would stay up and watch it. I remember when I was in high school, I actually was excited for a Friday the 13th on the calendar because that meant on either like AMC or TNT or somebody was going to have a marathon of Friday the 13th movies. And
That's
I was
right.
always there for it. My favorite shows, Joe Bob Briggs on Monster Vision. Of course, every kid my age then loved Elvira. Uh, Anything with a horror host and a slate of monster movies, I was there for that. And on the flip side, I was also a huge fan of Star Trek. So anytime Next Generation was on, I was up for that.
Yeah, I loved it. So what was your favorite Tales from the Crypt episode?
The one that sticks out in my mind that I never forgot, and I wish I could remember the title of it, was from the first season, but there was like this sleazy uh, broadcast journalist guy who covered like yellow journalism stuff at the time, and there was this house that was supposedly haunted, and he was going to go cover it. And of course, you can imagine how the story goes. Everything goes haywire. It really is haunted. And of course, being Tales from the Crypt, it's not mysterious haunting. It's just
Yeah,
outright in your face, over the top. Out of nowhere, a dude runs out with a chainsaw for no apparent reason, and the whole thing ends. The part that shocked me, and I was young. I watched it. I think I rewatched it, and I sort of rolled my eyes. But there was this scene where he's talking to his people outside and someone says to him his cameraman has just died, and he hears them say, hey, who's holding the camera, because they're still getting a live feed, and he looks over and there's this crazy old lady with blood all over her holding his camera, and
yeah,
the whole thing ends with him being thrown out the window and inadvertently hung and killed on a cord or something like that, and that's how the whole thing ended. And
yeah. And then
that
you
just
always
stuck
had the
with me.
love. I love the crypt keeper because he would come out and he'd be like,
Oh yes, yes.
ah!
Well, I
And so
loved his
that's
laugh and his awful, horrible dad jokes that were also sort of spooky themed.
yeah.
They were
Oh yeah, it
great.
was terrible. It was like it was definitely some, person that had kids that just had all these like horrible dad jokes that his kids didn't get, and he's like, "Yes, I can finally put these in something where somebody somewhere will laugh at it."
That's right. Before we had Twitter to share them all, this one person was lucky enough to have the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah, this one person was lucky enough. And then Twitter came about, and now the cheesy jokes are everywhere, and it's like the guy's like, "Haha, I did the first Twitter through the Crypt Keeper."
He beat us to it. Yep.
Even has the laugh. I'm telling you, that's my favorite thing to do. Like it just scares the shit out of people when you go to like one of those uh, haunted houses, and you go through one of those, and you just hold back a minute, and you just like take in a room for a little bit and wait for the people behind you, and just jump around the corner and do that, go and just scare the absolute shit out of them. Like when we went to Creepy World in Fenton, like it was humongous. Like it was absolutely humongous. It was like 9 different themes that you went through, and like it, so you circled through, and then you came back, and then you went back the other way, and then you came back again, and you went through the final area. And they had like a whole bunch of different like themes set up. One of them was alien, and then one of them was like uh, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And then, oh my God, this lady got so pissed at me too. It was so funny because we were standing waiting to go in there, and she's like, "Do you want to play a game?" And she was like being all scary about it, and she had her face all painted as blood cone. I'm like, "Sure, what do you want to play? Monopoly, Connect Four? Like, what's your favorite game?" And like you could tell she was trying not to smile, and she's just like, "Fuck this dude," I can't break character. And I was like, come on, don't be, you asked me if you want to, I want to play a game. Like, we're going to play strip poker. I'm like, I don't care if you're bloody, boobies are boobies. And then she really laughed. And so I was like, ha ha, gotcha. You broke character. That means my admission's free, right? But yeah, no, we went through that. And there was the ice cream. That's what it was. It was the ice cream instead of ice cream. And oh my God, they could only let like so many people in because there was all these hydraulic things and stuff. And it had strobes, and there was like bloody vinyl hanging. And so it was really one of the slower portions, and the line was just ridiculous. And we were all the way, had to go down and then around a fence and back to go in. And I was trying to scare my friend Dustin because him and his girlfriend went with us. And I jumped out and scared the shit out of them. His girlfriend fell over, and like the 8 people behind him in line dove down because they thought it was from one of the clowns from the ice cream. I was like, yes, that was awesome. But anyway, enough about me. So you loved horror. You grew up on horror. You like Tales from the Crypt and all that good stuff. Watching Friday the 13th. You waited for that Friday the 13th because you knew that marathon was going to be on. Uh, and Death of Superman was kind of your intro to comics. Sorry, I'm trying to summarize for the people just showing up. So what are some of your favorite series, as you were growing up after, the death of Superman?
You mean in comics?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Um, Second to Superman, a character that I really like is the Green Arrow, and specifically, what I like is the Denny O'Neil, and then later on Mike Grell, kind of the aging hipster Oliver Queen, the one who is very strongly left leaning, but he's getting older. And he's sort of coming to terms with a few things. He's been challenged with a lot of those beliefs, and he's second guessing a lot of things. And he's kind of grumpy and crotchety. He still wants to hold on to those beliefs, but he's become much more of a realist than an idealist when he was younger, and that's just an interesting, to me, that's a fascinating take on a character anyway. And my introduction to him was actually through the Justice League Unlimited cartoon, where the whole series opened with him rescuing just a grocery store. And up until then, we've seen the Justice League taking on super villains and alien invasions and all these big things. And then this big new series opens with this little Robin Hood dude saving this old couple's mom and pop grocery store. And then when Batman shows up and says, "How come you never joined us?" He said, "Well, I wasn't interested." It's like, to me, that was a pretty ballsy thing to say. He looked right at
Yeah,
Batman and
exactly.
just
He's
said,
like,
"No,
I just
thanks."
wasn't interested.
Yeah, he just says, "No, thanks. Thanks, but no thanks. I'm not interested." And that just amazed me right away. And when he told them, he's like, "Look, you guys do a lot of good stuff. I'm not knocking it, but when you're out there fighting guys in space, you tend to forget people like this grocery store. And so if I don't get the recognition like you, that's fine. I'm going to stay here and take care of these people." And that just made me interested in him. And then then I just went back and discovered everything else, where you had the version of him that was so idealistic, and then you have the version of him who's gotten older. And so yeah, he's a phenomenal character. I really like him. I don't think he gets enough love, and I'm not knocking the folks that made the Arrow series, but to me that's not really the Green Arrow that I would love to see portrayed. I want to see the one who is like full on raging liberal angry hipster, but keeps getting challenged in those beliefs. That's what I want to see. We haven't seen that. And after him, I do like Daredevil a lot, which is kind of the other end of the spectrum because he's this devout Catholic. But then it's the same thing. He's getting older and he's getting challenged and he's facing all these hardships. And so those are the ones, I don't know, I gravitate a lot towards those.
Well, and he's got the biggest hardship of all. He's blind,
Yeah, yeah,
Like
that's
imagine that.
fascinating
Like
too.
imagine that, back when that released, you have Superman who is from another planet and he's got all these powers. Then you got Batman who's like a billionaire and he can buy all these super high-tech armors and gadgets and you hear about all these superheroes and then somebody's just like Daredevil coming soon. He's blind but
Yeah,
he's got passion. And you're like, what the fuck? How's there going to be a blind superhero? And then you start to read the story and you're like, wow, this is really good. This guy, uses, because he's blind, he has super heightened senses that he still has, and he's able to hear and use his hearing to kind of calculate where things are in his environment with his stick, when he hits stuff with it. And kind of like a bat uses echolocation, they kind of use that in the comics and in the movie with Ben Affleck. They used it a lot more. They used him using acoustics to be able to tell how big the room was, if there was stuff in his path and stuff like that. And I just thought that was such a really cool concept. And so, Daredevil is really good. I do like Daredevil a lot.
yeah, he's a good one. I'm trying to think of any other more horror based. Like I really do like John Constantine, but I feel like that's kind of an easy answer. Like it was, well, of course he likes Constantine, but he's a good one. And another one, he's because he's so just incredibly jaded and cynical, and it makes him a lot of fun. And when you have this incredibly jaded, cynical character dealing with like angelic beings from heaven who are like the epitome of idealistic, it makes for some really fun dialogue.
It does. Now I have to ask you. Now we're really gonna ask this question, and it's gonna open up some debate here.
Okay.
What did you think of the movie?
With Keanu Reeves.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to be honest here. I love it, but there's an important thing to say there. It's not a great movie. However, I would have not discovered Constantine if not for Keanu Reeves' movie. So
Thank you.
I have to
Thank you.
appreciate that fact. It has its problems, of course. It's not really
Yes,
true to the character. Not going to deny any of those criticisms. They're all valid. But I
they
would have
are valid.
never would have discovered that character if not for Keanu Reeves' movie.
You know
So
how I seen that
yeah,
movie?
how?
So my wife's like, why don't we go see a movie? And I'm like, sure, what's out? She's like, I don't know. So we were literally sitting in the parking lot, facing the posters on the front of the building, going, that looks stupid. That looks more stupid. I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know what that is either. That looks really stupid. Which one of these two do you want to see? Because both of these look interesting. She's like, I don't know. I'm like, that one's got Keanu Reeves. It's got to be good. Let's go watch it. I have no idea what it's about. And so we went in and we watched it. I'm like, man, this is awesome. I love this movie. And then like you said, you go back to the Sandman series, and you read the Constantine books and stuff, and it doesn't stay true to the comics, but I wouldn't have found out about the comics had it not been for the movie, because I looked in, I'm like, what's John Constantine? What's this based off of? Because I wanted more. And we still haven't gotten a sequel, DC and whoever made the movie, I forgot. But the thing is I like going into superhero movies and seeing something fresh, just because, you've read these comic books 1,000 times, you know exactly how the story goes. Do we really want to go in and watch what we've read a million times play out on screen, or do we want to watch somebody else's take on what somebody else wrote and developed? That's the cool thing about writing. Like writing my book. People read my book, and then they'll go, well, why did you do this like this? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? And they're like, well, I take that you were going this way on it. I'm like, oh no, let me tell you, this is where I was going. This is why I did what I did in here. Jack and I have had a shit ton of conversations of, this just doesn't make any sense. I'm like, dude, it does make sense in my mind, because, this is why. And like, this is why I love writing, because it sparks enough of an interest. You love the character, you love the story enough that you want to know why I did what I did, because you don't understand it, and I'm helping you to understand it. I'm like, but this is the argument that I use in the comic book world with movies is, you know, you have somebody that wrote this 40 or 50 years ago, like the Immortals, or not the Immortals, the Eternals. You've got all of these books that were written 60, 70 years ago, and you have somebody else producing a film based on these books. They don't understand what was in that person's mind when they wrote this story. So they're going to go through the story, and they're going to get their take from it, and they're going to put their own twist on it and try to create something new. Now, yes, I can understand the fanboys getting upset because, it doesn't stay true to the books. But I kind of like it. I kind of like it just because it's something else that you can watch and have fun with, because it's not the same exact thing. And that's just my take on it. But I loved Constantine. I thought it was good. Like you said, it wasn't a great movie, but it was entertaining. And like you said, if it wasn't for that, I would have never figured out that there was a John Constantine comic book out there, because I really don't mess with DC comics a whole lot. I was more of Marvel, Ghost Rider growing up, Punisher, Vampirella, and then I've kind of fallen off the big two bandwagon, and even kind of the Image bandwagon, and went more straight to just indie books, because they're so much better.
Me too,
That was one of the
honestly.
ways,
Mhm.
and that's why when I came about across your project, and I backed it, and I got some of your other books too. What is it? The Pizza Velociraptors.
Oh, the Scourge of the Vampire Velociraptors.
The Vampire Velociraptors. Isn't one of them pizza? I can't remember, because my
I
kids
don't think
ran
there's a
off with
pizza
them.
one in there.
No, you
The
don't.
No, the three that I've got in that series right now, the first one is Attack of the Zombiesaurus Rex. A follow up there is Scourge of the Vampire Velociraptors. The third one is Curse of the Werosaurus. I'm still working on a fourth one.
All right, we got to put pizza in it just so I can
I'm gonna have
not
to
be
think
fucked
on
up.
that now. So it's some kind of pizza monster.
the 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 Pete Ceratops. There we go. We got the Pete Ceratops,
Okay.
and it's a three topping dinosaur. God, that's too cheesy. Whoa, cheesy
Oh, I was
pizza.
gonna say there's some little local pizzeria seeing this right now. They're like, "Nope, that's my next pizza feature right
That's my
there."
next pizza. It's extra cheesy. Ah. Oh my god, that's so terrible. Why the fuck was I thinking there was pizza? I don't know. Like literally, I've done so many shows and I've had so much stuff going on in my mind. Like I don't even know what my own projects are anymore. Hey, hey, hold on a second.
For the record, I still know my projects, but that's probably because they haven't gotten lengthy enough yet. But I'm getting close to where it's gonna start being tough, I think.
Sorry about that. Oh, I'm gonna have to beat this cat's butt. She's chewing on my phone cord. Stop it. Thank you. All right, I apologize. Like I'm like, it's bad enough the lightning cables don't last but like a month, and then you add in the pizza cat Rex over here, and she's freaking destroying the tips to them. She like I don't know what it is about them. I'm like
That's a
one of
good
those
name.
days she's gonna get a nice little jolt and her hair's gonna poof up. What's up, Courtney?
It's gonna be like the cat on Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's not even really my projects. It's just doing a lot of these shows and stuff. Sometimes stuff like blends together. But I know my kids enjoyed the books because I got them and I have never seen them again.
Well, that's
Other
good.
than when my
I'm glad
kids
to hear that.
have them and they're like looking through them and I'm like, hey, can I read that? And they're like, no, Dad, this isn't for you. I'm like, I freaking bought it, man. So there you go, guys. You've got the three children's comics books that he wrote. You have the vampire velociraptors and
The Werosaurus.
the
Yep.
Werosaurus. There we go, the
You can
Werosaurus.
see a running theme with that series.
Yeah, yeah, they're all horror-based vampires, horror-based dinosaurs, and so coming up next, we've got the Pete Ceratops. It's a three-topping dinosaur that will devour you and turn you into cheese.
I always like
No.
telling people the Zombie Saurus series. Where that idea actually hit me was I was sitting in a church listening to a sermon, and then for whatever reason that came in my head, and so here we are.
Matt, Matt, my son. Oh.
It must have been some kind of
It was
divine
divine
prophecy.
intervention.
Yeah.
Like you must do a series on dinosaurs.
I can only hope that I have lived up to what he wanted.
So I gotta ask. So we'll talk to about Moby Dick or Moby Dick, as I accidentally called him earlier,
Sure,
in
sure.
a little bit. Which guys, if you didn't know, backstage we were joking and laughing around about the fact that I was laughing so hard because his book contains the word dick and deep. And on Tuesday we're launching Jizz Be Gone. Here we go, right here, folks. We have the Jizz Be Gone towels. Yes, this is actually a real Kickstarter. Yes, Kickstarter thinks it's fucking hilarious. We got a email from them saying that it's both hilarious and practical. So they love it. So it's going to be funded strictly on Kickstarter workers apparently. But it is velour on one side and terry cloth on the other. So you got your soft and you've got your kind of rough, depending on what kind of feel you like. But we were laughing. I was laughing. I was like, dude, I laughed so hard when he messaged me. I was like, oh, this is the Moby Dick guy. And then I was like, oh my god, it's got dick and deep in it, and we're freaking launching this. And he's like, yeah, I seen that link, and I was like, oh yeah, I got to get on this guy's show because this is hilarious. And so I had to bring it up, guys. I had to bring it up because it's launching Tuesday. All right, so your after sex cleanup is a breeze because just be gone. We've got you clean when you're covered.
And I gotta say, I am so jealous that you're getting a response like that from Kickstarter. All of mine have been just the cursory professional whatever. You actually got them to break character and actually laugh with you. That's fantastic.
I, I'm pissed too because you know what? This has the capability now that Kickstarter thinks this is so hilarious of getting a project we love. It is not even my fucking project. Like I poured my heart and soul into this, and then it's like I had to run it twice to get it funded. And it's like Kickstarter's like, oh yeah, we're gonna put this bitch front and center. It's gonna be funded. We're gonna back it. It's hilarious. Like here's what I imagine because it was in for 3 days. It was in uh review, and I'm going, God, they're gonna turn it down. And Kickstarter doesn't tell you when they tell you that it's rejected, why it's rejected. You have to figure it out on your own, which I think is stupid. Like, if you're gonna reject my project, tell me why. And we several of the people in the community have said that to me as well. You know, Luis Torres had one of his projects rejected, so he just went through and put black boxes in people's faces over stuff that he thought that they thought, and then they just approved it. So he had no idea why, but it got approved, and he didn't really care. But I'm like, it's getting rejected. You know, Tim, it's his first day at Kickstarter, and he pulls up his next project for review, and it's called Jizby God, and he just immediately cracks up like, no way, these motherfuckers are serious. And he's like, excuse me, Bob. Can you come over here and look at this? And Bob comes over and he's like, no fucking way, somebody's doing jizz tiles. And so then he calls his supervisor over. And like before 10 minutes is up, like the whole freaking call center, you know, everybody's standing around Tim. It's his first day. And they're like, how the fuck did he get this project? Like, all we get are these damn comic books and this other stuff. And he gets Jizby going. This is fucking hilarious. Approve it. Approve it now. Hit the approve button. We got to see what this does. And I want to back it. So you can just, that's what was going through my mind. Like when it got approved, I was grinning from ear to ear. Worst fucking day at work ever. It was cold as shit. Like my hands, like they're healing now, but you can tell from the
Yeah, I
cold.
can see it.
Yeah, my hands have been cracking and bleeding, they hurt and they throbbed, and I was like, I'm so done with the day. I was hurting bad, and I just was like refreshed. I'm like, is the Kickstarter been approved? And I was like, congratulations. And I was like, oh, someone signed into my wife's email. I was reading through it, and it was like, yeah, everything looks good to go. We just wanted to say this is hilarious yet practical. We can't wait to see what it does. I was like, no fucking way. I never get a response like that. Like I submit mine and I don't even go to review. It's like your project's been approved. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
what
I
I get.
launch it. Yeah, that's what I get too. Like this is the first time it's went to review. And so, yeah, I was so pissed. But anyway, enough about Jizz Beyond. Um, to steer off of the Moby Dick path, Dick path.
Mm.
Oh my God, this is so immature. So anyway, so as far as the children's books go, do you have plans on releasing one of those in the near future, like this year, or is it something that's going to be later on?
Yeah, I'm hopeful to release the next one toward the end of this year. That's my plan. I'm wanting to do something with pterodactyls this time.
Pterodactyls.
Mm.
Don't you jump on me. I see you.
But we don't.
They're
Is it
like,
a cat?
yes, I have three of them. I let the whiny one out, and Bubba's sitting here looking at me like I'm dinner or something.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, never mind. Savannah jumped up there, so now they're getting ready to start the throwdown.
Mm.
Oh my God.
It's going to be brutal. Brutal as
Oh no,
WWE.
like she's about to get in some serious trouble. She's on my comic shelf over there.
Oh, now
Excuse
that's.
me.
Mhm.
Excuse me. Okay. She knew better. Well, I just got original art and I haven't had a chance to put it up because I got two jobs now, and I'm working on getting Stuff Full Circle Destruction fulfilled, and then I'm working on her. I helped her set up her Kickstarter because with me and the cancer thing, and then I've got these blown discs. I'm going back to the cancer doctor tomorrow for a follow up. I still got a tumor on my liver,
Mm.
and so. With that, coupled with me getting hit a few years ago, I've got blown discs in my back. But I'm getting where I can't really get around, and I drive for a living. So I drive a bulk tanker truck, and it just throws you all over the place. So that's why I have those bad pain days. And I'm just like, I'm not gonna be able to keep doing this for much longer. So we need a contingency plan. And this is my contingency plan. This is what I've always wanted to do, and I finally done it, and I want to keep doing it. But we're gonna have to fill in my gap somehow. Fill my gap, first of all. Anyway, oh my God, this is terrible. So, her business, she's been doing it for 2 years, and I was like, we had this huge joke on Blastcast about Jizby Gun because Stone's got these waifu, mommy milker, posters for his project, and we were joking around. And have you ever seen Envy with Jack Black and
I
where
haven't
they,
seen it, but I mean,
yeah, they
I
so they
know the
developed the
title.
project. Yeah, they developed the product Poobie Gone, and you spray it on your pet poop and it disappears, and everybody asks the question, where does the poop go? And it just goes on from there. And I won't spoil the movie for anybody, but so I was like, you know what, you need a stretch goal of like jizz be gone, because everybody's gonna get these posters and they're not gonna be able to get them clean again. I was like, so you need to develop this spray like on Envy with the poopy on. And he's like, dude, that's a great idea. So like we spent the rest of the night joking around about jizz be gone, and this spray, and everybody's got that going on. It ran out, and like I don't know, 2 weeks later, it hit me. I was like, dude, we can really make this happen. We can get some of these microfiber towels, and because like everybody's like, oh man, we need a red one for that time of the month. We need a yellow one for wet work, and like everybody was talking about it. I'm like, you people really want this shit? I'm like, cool, we'll make a Kickstarter. We'll fucking make it happen. And so I was like, this is a great way to get the wife's business out there and bring more people to what she does, and hopefully, bring in more orders for like birthday shirts or holiday shirts, or like we do heart, because of Roderick's heart surgery and stuff, and stuff like that. So that's how this actually came about. So then I started working on this, and then I've got Cat and Piggy Girl going on for CB4K. I'm going to be running that on Kickstarter next month to help out with CB4K. What my plan is take all of the profits and print as many books as I can to send to the hospitals and cancer centers. So like my mind has just been like absolutely blown. I'm like, I don't even know what side is up anymore. And then I got these prints in the other day, and so I was like, I'll put them up here. It won't be a big deal. And so yeah, of course, my cat's like, oh, look at this, Dad. Got some art up here. Oh, this looks really pretty. Maybe I'll put my paw on it and stick a few claw holes in it. Like they did to the freaking thing that I sold to Rodney. I had that crimson omnibus that I had sent him, and I donated part of it to CB4K for CB4K Day. It was out one day, and they marred the freaking corner, like tore the cardboard. I was like, yeah, it's got a few issues. I'm like, that just happened, literally. It was sat out for one day, and the cats destroyed it. So, better quit it. Anyway, so yeah, that'd be cool. My kids would be definitely interested. We'll have to set up a show, and I'll bring my kids on, and you can talk to them about the next project, and they can tell everybody on screen what they think of the other three books. Because like I said, I haven't seen them. Well, I'll have to have them bring them to me. We'll show how well loved they've been, if they still even have covers on them, that sort of thing. But now to the big draw. So Moby Dick, Back from the Deep.
Mhm.
For people that have not seen the series, haven't read the series, haven't come across the Kickstarter, what is your elevator pitch? Tell everybody what the rundown is about what the story is and how you came up with it.
Sure. The premise of the story is Herman Melville, more than a century ago, told a story about this mysterious white whale that destroyed all kinds of boats in the high seas and killed all sorts of sailors, and then it just disappears. Well, today the whale is back. So the story here, we're in modern times. Moby Dick is back. He's this zombified, just necrotized shell of what he was, but he's causing chaos, devastation everywhere he goes. And he shows up at this beachside community, destroying any boats and people, whatever they get too close. And they're trying to figure out how to deal with it. And then all of a sudden, Ahab and his crew, also zombified and necrotized, show up. And so that's the basic gist of the story there. And so like where it came from was, of all places, YouTube. Naturally, I was watching one of those really stupid mashup videos where they took footage of a Moby Dick film that starred Patrick Stewart. If anybody remembers this thing, it was made for TV, uh, and they mashed it up with footage from I believe it was the old 80s film Millennium, where an aircraft carrier travels through time, and suggested that Ahab went to the future and came back with a nuke and dropped it on the whale. And there's this great, the only good moment in it is where you see like footage of a nuke dropping and you hear Patrick Stewart screaming, "From the heart of hell, I stab at thee." And yeah, and for whatever reason, that's what stuck with me, this idea of the whale being around throughout time, and Ahab and his crew hunting it all throughout time. So it's like I knocked out the time travel element, and it's like, what if they were just out there going all over the ocean hunting this whale for over a century, and they just can't find it and can't kill it? What would all that be like? So and that's where the a lot of the story came from. And I didn't want to just do it just from Ahab's point of view, I thought, well, if all this weird sort of paranormal concepts that I'm throwing in here, I've got to tell this from the perspective of like your average human being, and that's where the hero of our story, her name is Catherine Barlow, and she's the one who's experiencing all this and trying to figure out everything as it happens, and so she ends up going out to sea with Ahab and his crew, which that's quite an experience. The one living person on this zombie boat full
Zombie
of
ship, and
people.
everybody smells
Yeah.
brains.
Yep.
Brains.
Yep.
Man, I got it. Like in my head while you're talking about this, talking about mashups. In my head, my brain's just spinning. I'm thinking you're talking about you got this beachfront and like this zombie whale shows up, and all I can think about is like the beach scene in Piranha 3D. The movie with Christopher Lloyd in it, like where all the ladies are out there surfboard, and then all of a sudden, like you just see this bloodbath as these piranhas are eating all of them. And I'm like, oh my god, we could do a trailer for it, do like a mashup of like the beach scene of that, and then just like add in a zombified whale in there and just be like, "Rah!" And like each
That's a
spawn
thought.
there's like pooling blood, just like the zombie whale eating them. Oh my god, that's why I was laughing because I'm like, hey, you're talking about mashups, and I'm doing this own mashup in my head. We got to do it. We got to make it happen. I'm gonna get CGI team on it right
Okay.
away, and I'm just gonna like flash it around, be like, screw Paramount, and they're like, they won't know. It'll be so grainy scenes of like the beach, because there's lots of boobs in it, so we're gonna have to make it really grainy. That way, when Moby Dick comes in and eats the women, we don't get hit for censorship, because that's all they'll be concerned about. They'll be like, we don't give a fuck about Paramount, uh, or whoever produced the movie. There's a nipple, guys. We can't tell if it's a male or a female nipple, so guess what? You just caught a 14-day ban, sir. What? Like, like I'll be watching the video going, where the hell did they see a nipple? Did they like enhance this to like 1,000 magnification or what? You could tell it was a nipple, but you couldn't tell if it was a guy or a girl. Like, come on. Like, what are we doing here? Oh, jeez. I'm going down the rabbit hole. Oh, my God. But I got an idea, though. I got something that I've been wanting to incorporate. So, with two jobs, and Cat and Piggy Girl, Xenonanite Titan Book 2, Several Circle Destruction, and all the other craziness of being a family man. I had to stop Blue Balls reviews, which I was doing on Wednesday nights. I would get on here and I would read a comic book from somebody that had a live Kickstarter. Either if they had a preview edition that they had sent me to review, I'd ask their permission to pop it up on screen and let people see it. Um, or if I had the issue one and they had issue two going, I'd read issue one. That way, if people were interested, they would go pick up issue one and two. Blastcast I have on Saturdays is usually like a two, three, four, and it has been a 5 hour show. We were down there till like 1:30 in the morning, as we had way too many people in there, and we were just having fun. But what I want to incorporate into Blastcast, since I don't have that time in the week during Wednesdays, is doing like a short segment where I pull everybody out and it's just me in the book, and everybody will still be on the show where they can talk and they can comment on things, but you just won't be able to see them. That way, people can see the book. Um, but I would like to try that with Moby Dick one. If you would be okay with that, doing like a reading of the first book, putting your Kickstarter link up, and seeing what the people think about that.
Sure. Yeah. I'd have to just check my schedule, but yeah, that
Yeah,
could
and you
certainly
can be on the
work.
show too. Exactly. Yeah, that was the other thing I was going to say, because Moby Dick is back here up on this shelf,
Oh, okay.
and
Cool.
I know where it is because I managed to make it through all of them. But yeah, it's still right here. It's in my QU. Yeah, you don't want to see my QU, folks. It's massive. It runs from over here to that whole top shelf that's almost collapsing itself because it's like this because there's so many books up there to read. But I'm a busy man. I run 3 podcasts and promoting everybody. One day, one day I'm gonna be disabled and I'm gonna be like, I'm glad I bought all these books to read. I'm gonna be doing shows be like, guys, have you read this book that came out 5 years ago? I just got to it. No, no, I'm just kidding. I usually
Be
read the
like that.
PDF version.
Be
Usually
like
read the PDF version.
Burgess Meredith on the Twilight Zone. Oh, at last I have time to read my books, and then you'll
Yeah,
break your glasses.
yeah, no. That's right. I got DG right across the street. DG Home, folks. Go get yourself some of them reading spectacles. I just had to throw it there because Stone's always talking about DG Home on Blastcast. But anyway, no, the good thing is a lot of people send PDF copies. And that's great for me because when I'm at work, and it's cold out like it is now, I'll be sitting there pumping. I'll be like, ooh, I just got an email. What's up, Marseille? We're talking about Dick. I mean, Moby Dick. Um, so Yep, there it is, Moby Dick. Yeah, hurry up, get it off screen. Somebody might think it's a huge, anyway, orifice. So, so anyway, I'll be like I don't think I was ever as excited at work when I seen Belial 2 PDF come across. Like most of the time I read shit, but I was so excited about Belial 2. Like I fucking read that like the minute I got it. Like within 5 minutes of me receiving the email, I'd already read it, and I was like, oh my god, this is so great. And I even included a scene from that, and I don't think it's on here still. But I included it. Whoops, not that. That was one of my staff pool drawings. Uh, Yogi Bear was stealing Steph Pool's lunchbox. I just randomly drew it because I had a book signing that I went to that nobody showed up to. It was heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. Oh yeah, there it is. Whoops, wrong thing. There it is. The imaging for Blue Balls reviews.
Gosh.
Yeah, this, like I said, this shows no hold bars, man. So you never know what kind of stuff I got in here. No, I don't have it in here anymore. Damn it! I was gonna show it off because it was funny. Oh yeah, here it is, right here. I took a scene out of there. Link actually trapped somebody in an outhouse, and so I did the not safe for work and the safe for work edition. And so, of course, that's the not safe for work edition because that's the glory hole portion. Oh my God, Moby Dick. That's right, Marseille. You need to get in on it. Or get in. No, I'm just
Mm,
kidding. I love you, Marseille. Uh, no, Tiffany has not jumped any curbs lately, unfortunately, so I do miss you. We visited Marseille several months back, and Tiffany, instead of following my wife, instead of following the GPS when Siri was like at the light, turn left and make a U-turn. Well, Tiffany, it's night outside, so she's like, oh, I can just turn around here. Yeah, well, they have these medians that are like these huge curbs with grass and palm trees. Well, then those medians stop and it goes to a different type of median that's angled on both sides and it's flat on the top. Yeah, we got airborne in a GMC terrain, probably 10 feet off the ground because she turned around on the median and launched us all in the air. I think every one of our heads bounced off the roof of the car. And that was when we went down to go visit Marseille. So we've never let her live it down since then. So don't worry, Marseille. Next time we hit a curb, we will probably rock it back to you. So just, if a car falls through your roof, just know it's us. All right. It's safe. So I hope you're doing well, Marseille. You need to take time out of your schedule Saturday. No excuses. No going on dates with the hubby. He's not as important as I am. You get on Blastcast and you come and hang with us. You tell him, hey, hubby, you're watching Icy and the new baby and all that for some fucking wings. That's right. All of that. That's what it was. We went to Marseille's bar and what the hell's the name of it? Billboards and or billiards. I mean. And yeah, it was all for wings. I went there because I told her I was like, I'm gonna try hot wings. I judge all restaurants by the flavor of their hot wings, folks. If you can't make a proper hot wing, you can't make food at all. I'm just saying. Hot
that's
wings,
fair.
that's life. Yeah, you're just as guilty for not showing up too, fucker. Yeah. She's like, so you tell hubby, you tell him that, I'm more important, that he's got to watch the kids, and you're going to come on, and you got to come on as sexy beach girl Steph Pool. So we got this whole Steph Pool shoot planned. We were going to do it this year, and then my grandpa had passed away, and all that stuff kind of went around at the same time. But I was going to do boudoir Steph Pool shoots for Valentine's Day cards, because I mean, who doesn't want to order me in like a mankini with my Steph Pool mask on and send it to their friends? It's gorgeous. I mean, it's hold on, guys. What's up, fuckers? It's Steph Pool. We got Matt Schorr on here talking about Moby Dick. Dick. That's a huge dick. And Back from the Deep. Oh yeah, that big fucker's going deep. That's for sure. That's what she said. Oh. So anyway, so you guys need to go get this right here. I'm gonna pop the link in there again. I said pop it in. Ah. And you know what? When he gets done popping it in, get Disney gun lunch and Tuesday. Oh yeah. All right. So anyway, enough of stuff, pool. So Marcy, I hope you're doing well, sweetie. I miss you guys. We're gonna have to come down and visit you again. My wife's telling me to quiet down. I'm getting too out of hand down here or something. Stuff will. I'm gonna message you back. It's stuff will fault. So enough of derailment. We're talking about stories and crazy shit. So yeah, I definitely Blastcast. I would love to invite you back on Saturday. It's at 8 p.m. Central, same time as the show. I usually am on time for my show, unlike tonight. And we usually hop on like 15 minutes early to get the naughtiness started. I mean, oh fuck's sake. Like we got on the show talking about how one of the guys' profile picture, it was a glazed donut because his last name is Glaze, and so it's just a glazed donut. Well, Trish thought it was a penis, and we were all just blown away at how a glazed donut looked like a penis because the hole in the middle's like this big around, and her husband sitting next to her on the couch like, "What kind of penises have you been looking at? Because mine looks nothing." And I'm like, we're all dying backstage. And then I was talking about Jisby going and how we were going to get covers for car seats, so if you wanted to do the nasty on the road, you wouldn't get it on your seats. And she's like, why would you do it in your kid's car seat? We're all like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, no, a car seat cover. And so he's like, honey, he's like, you're the only one that thinks of a kid's car seat when somebody says that. Like, what do you call the seat that you sit at? Oh my God. So we got on there and all chaos that broke out. So we usually have on 15 minutes or we'll bullshit. I'll get your book ready. If you have a PDF version, that would be perfect where I can actually put the full on screen instead of trying to hold up a book. You want to put the PDF version, we can run through it. We'll take pauses, ask questions, and give people. I would love to do that. I've been wanting to try it out anyway. Take like 15 minutes just to run through a copy of a book, give people a chance to ask questions. Pop the link in there for the Kickstarter, and hopefully there'll be a lot more people that'll be interested in the book. Yeah, you were. I remember that. This shit was wild. It was like like I got on the show and I tried to start off good, and then I was like it just clicked in my brain. I'm like, how in the hell do you think that was a penis, Trish? And then like that ensued in the conversation for the first half an hour. So just know that that happens. And then she said, "Okay, I'll see what I can do Saturday." And I miss y'all. I'm hanging in there. Can't wait till y'all launch over here again one day. Yeah, well, don't worry, we're launching Tuesday, Marseille, so you definitely need to get in on the velour stuff. So, guys, the books are good. I've read them. Now, I have not checked out the Kickstarter yet because I've been super busy. Now, are the kids' books still available on there? So the Were Dinosaur and the Vampire Velociraptors and the Rex. Uh, the,
Sure are. Yeah, those everything I have written and created is available on there. You've got those. You've got my other comics. My latest one, Monster Hunter for Hire, about a guy who hunts monsters and hates his job and his life. That one was a lot of fun to put together. I always
I'm gonna
called
have
him.
to.
I always called him. His name is Tommy, and he's a cross between Al Bundy and Ash Williams. So from
Who's Ash Williams?
Evil Dead.
Oh, I never knew that was his last name. I
I think
never
it is.
paid enough
You've got
attention to
you
it.
have me second guessing myself now, but I think that's his last name. But
Oh my
Al
god, dude!
Bundy and
I
Ash.
I was just talking to somebody the other day about Army of Darkness. I was like, "Have you seen Army of Darkness, right?" And he's like, "No, what's that?" I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like, like you have to go watch Army of Darkness now. Like, it is the funniest movie. I'm like, you can watch Evil Dead if you want, but I'm like, you got to watch Army of Darkness
Well, you got to
because
watch Evil
it's
Dead
hilarious."
2. You especially have to watch Evil Dead 2. That's the best of the entire trilogy there. That it's
And,
fantastic.
and I don't know, Ash versus the Evil Dead. I never got up the gumption to watch it, and then I finally was like, there was nothing else on Netflix to watch, so we started watching it, and I just my wife was laughing her ass off. The only thing she didn't like was like the over the top gore, and I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you? I have to sit in the living room and watch Life at the Trauma at the ER. That's like actually like makes me want to pass out watching people getting cut open and like people are like jabbing their arms around in somebody's insides trying to find a tumor that they're looking for. But yet you can't watch this over the top hilarious like this dude's head just got blown off with a shotgun and then like blood just splattered all over everybody. And like it's
Yep.
like it's so gory and over the top, and the Evil Dead's the same way. It's just so over the top. Like it's not even really scary. It's just hilarious. You like
It's
you laugh the
it
whole time.
becomes
Or when he
cartoony.
fight. Oh my
Yeah.
yeah, it's so cartoonish. And like when his hand attacks him, oh my god, that is the best. I love it when his hand gets cut off.
That
And then it makes a return like later on, and he's like going through the dungeon and the hand's like there and he's like, oh no, we're not doing this again.
I gotta say, Bruce Campbell, that scene where he is wrestling with his hand, that is some of the most amazing acting I have ever seen in my life.
It is.
Like I totally buy into that. He and his hand are two separate characters, and they're fighting one another. It's phenomenal. Like
It
watch it
is.
for that alone. It is so good.
Yeah, and you just want to see the behind the scenes footage. Like, what is he really fighting with? Like, because
Yeah.
the hand CGI'd in there, so it's like for all we know, he could have been wrestling with like a tomato or some inanimate object. It could have been a piece of foam. It could have been a just be gone.
Well, not well, not an Evil Dead 2 because that was made before CG was a thing. So he's really doing all that stuff with his hand, and it's
Oh yeah,
amazing.
that's true.
It's just it's unbelievable. Then of course you gotta love that he traps it in a trash can and puts a book over it called "A Farewell to Arms." That's how he traps the hand. It's the
I
black
love
humor
Bruce
of
Campbell,
those
and
days.
everybody calls him like a B level or a C level actor, but I think he's top notch. Like he is funny, and his delivery on lines, like
Mm.
like when he calls her a she bitch or whatever it was in Army of Darkness. Oh my gosh, say hello to my boomstick.
Oh yeah, he's well, and he is a B movie actor, and I think he owns that title. Like he's considered the king of B movie actors. So yeah, if you were to tell him he was a B movie actor to his face, he would readily say, "Yeah, of course I am. Thank you." So yeah, he's and to me, B movie actors are the best ones anyway. Most of the time, they're in the fun stuff, just the
Yeah, I
goofy
wonder if I could get
cornball.
him to say "Hail to the King, baby."
He's I think I read somewhere the one he gets asked a lot is work shed, but he asked him to say work shed. Like if you're
Workshay.
familiar with Evil Dead 2, the scene is where he looks at the camera and he says out loud work shed, but he clearly did not say it, and it clearly got piped in later, and for whatever reason that got famous. So
Hold on, I gotta ban somebody real quick.
uh,
All right, we're good. I hate that these bots will get you kicked off there because we're streaming from all three platforms right now. So everybody on YouTube has the link, everybody on Twitch has the link, and everybody on the Facebook page has the link now. And if you guys come on here and you post this bullshit, you're gonna get banned because uh, we don't we don't allow spam on here. I apologize. Uh, so, but yeah, no, Bruce Campbell's great. I met one of the people that was at my work party. Like everybody makes fun of me because I'm this like huge nerd. I write a book and I run a podcast. I'm into comic books and all that shit. And they're like into hunting and all that stuff, which is funny because I wear the camo hat. So everybody immediately assumes, oh, he's from Missouri. He's one of them hick boys. He likes to go hunting and trapping and fishing. Like no, this is I spend the majority of my time playing video games, watching movies, reading comics, writing, and podcasting. Like I do all kinds of geekery, and then sometimes I'll fish, and sometimes I'll freeze my ass off and go hunting, and then I remember why the fuck I don't do it because I sit out there from 4 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night, listening to squirrels rape and bark at each other, and then get in a fight over a tree and then like, no, these are my nuts, and I'm just like, for love of God, I wish it was squirrel season because I would shoot your ass right now and take you home, and my friend will eat you.
I do
So
kind of
yeah,
wonder.
so
It seems like a lot of energy put into hunting when I'm constantly driving down the road and I see deer all the time that got hit by a car. It's like, why don't you just wait on the highway and go scoop it up after a truck
well, see,
goes
we
by?
have that here. So that in Missouri, it is a thing. There is a call center. If you hit a deer, you call them, and the police department comes out, and they have a call list. They will run through the call list until somebody says yes, and they'll wait there with the deer until they come and pick it up. So that they don't like, because obviously, if you're driving down the road with a deer when it's not deer season, and a game warden sees that, yeah, your butt's gonna pucker a little bit. So they wait there, for you to pick it up, and then they tag it, and they send you on your way. So I think it's a great thing.
We
We
need
have a
that here
horrible
where I
deer.
live because there's so many dead deer on the road.
Oh yeah, and there still is so many of them because a lot of times, someone will get hit during work hours and stuff. But
Mm.
I always think of that scene from fucking Tommy Boy when they pick up the dead deer on the side of the road, and they're like, "What's that?" And they're like, "Ah!" And the deer's like, "Arr!" And it just tears the car to smithereens. And then I'm
That's
like, "Yeah, that's probably why most people don't pick up these dead deer unless the police call
yeah,
them."
they
They pick.
watched Tommy Boy. Oh, that must be nice. Yeah, I wish they did that here.
Yeah, I mean,
Obviously,
or at
just like
least at least they can pick them up and drop them off at one of the butchers that participates. Because like here in Missouri, you can, even if you hunt or you hit one, you can take it and you can take it to the local butcher and you can donate that food to the hungry. And so they actually grind up all of that meat and they donate it to the food pantries to give out. It is legal for them to give it out as long as there's no sales transactions that go on as far as when the deer is butchered to where it gets eaten at, which is a great thing. Where
yeah,
nobody's wasting meat, and if you like to hunt and say you get two or three and you're not going to eat all of them, you can donate one of them. I think it's a great thing. But yeah, it sounds like you definitely need that where you're at.
yeah,
There's
we
gonna be
need
some roadkill
something.
rampage shit. That's gonna be your next horror book. Is like all the dead deer come to life, and then they like maim their first victim, and then it becomes like oh my god, that would be a great story. It'd be like the Santa Claus from hell. Like he's got all
Actually,
these deer under his command.
yeah, there's one story I've got, like a little anthology we're putting together where all the roadkill does sort of come back and go after like the wardens who didn't do their job taking care of them or whatever. So that's just it's a short story, so it's not like a book full on series about
Yeah.
Return of the Living Dead as animals, but it's just a little one where like there are kind of animal kingdoms a little bit pissed off at us for running them over all the time.
Oh my god, there needs to be a scene where like all the turtles like mutate together because they're so fucking slow. Like they could never chase anybody down for running them over. But like it's like the human centipede, only it's turtles, and so with all the legs, they're able to move at like 70 miles per hour like a cheetah. And so like, you got this turtle centipede that's super fast. I know I come up with some of the craziest shit off the top of my head, but that would be hilarious. Like somebody just turns the page and there's just like this picture of this turtle centipede with like all these legs. He's got all them legs and no tennis shoes. Wrong again, Bobby. Oh, so many great lines from movies. But no, I would love to do that. If you got a PDF version of that, I know we
Sure.
totally fucking derailed way off of that. If you got a PDF version, you're open Saturday night. I'd love to bring you on. We'll wait until like a half an hour or 45 minutes in when we get like more high traffic of people coming in and out, and I'll announce it this week. Just send me the PDF over. I'll put it up on screen. We'll go over it and I'll give my review on it, and I'll let the other panelists give their reviews on it, what they liked, what they didn't like. We'll stop and do like a short Q&A session, for the people that have questions about your book, that want to know more, and then we'll throw the Kickstarter link. And I think that would be a really cool idea.
Okay. Certainly, we can do that.
But what I was originally getting at, going back to what we derailed on, is I worked with somebody that actually met Bruce Campbell, and I was so fucking jealous. She
Oh, me
got
too.
her Evil Dead shirt signed by him. That she went to some kind of a dinner that her husband worked for, and he was there, and she was like, "Oh my God, Bruce Campbell!" And she's like, "What?" He's like, turns around, and she said, he was like, "What?" And she was like, I'm wearing I'm wearing an Evil Dead shirt. Can you fucking sign it? And he's like, yeah. Like, what are the odds? Like, you show up to this dinner banquet with your husband, and fucking Bruce Campbell's there. Don't know why he was there, but he was there. And you just happen to be wearing like his fucking Evil Dead shirt. And so yeah, he signed the shirt, and she was showing me pictures of it, and I was like, I'm so jealous. I would love to meet Bruce Campbell because like his I don't know what he's like in real life, but his personality and Ash versus the Evil Dead and Army of Darkness is like me. Like him and I, like we would just be like twins. Like we would just feed off of each other, and it'd be insanity. The world would probably start spinning backwards, and the Evil Dead would probably rise up, and we'd have to find the Necronomicon and put them back where they belong. Like I want to have a fucking shotgun hand. That would be badass. I
Be
love
fun, wouldn't
that.
it?
That is the fucking best part of that. I gotta say, the best part are the fucking sound effects. Like when he does the flip through the air and he's like doing the Superman with his stub and the chainsaw, and it's like.
That was something so unique to Sam Raimi, like that quick cuts like that he did. It was phenomenal. He used it in Spider-Man 2 a little bit with Doctor Octopus. It was, yeah, I missed that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
He can be a true professional. He's a great guy. I've heard a lot of good stories where he's a really cool dude, and that's one
I
of
have
the things
too.
you always go back and you want to meet your heroes. You want to meet the people that you really look up to, and that's why I love doing what I do. Is this gives a chance for people to get to know you, Matt, and other creators out there. They may read your books, they see your Kickstarters, they'll see you on the live shows, and people are running through the Kickstarters, but they don't really get a chance to know who you are. And that's why I love doing what I do, because now everybody knows, you're a Friday the 13th fan. You love the Death of Superman series. You love Bruce Campbell and the Evil Dead and the cheesy horror, and this is where we find our similarities. Why should I back this guy? Oh, he loves the shit that I love. And so now I got to go see what he's turning his twisted fucking love for all these shows and Tales from the Crypt and all this stuff, what he's done with his story, and that's what I love about doing this. And that's what worries me about meeting your heroes, though, is you always hear, "Oh, that dude's an asshole," and then you show up at the show and you're just like, "Hi," and they're like, "Hey, what's going on, man? Oh yeah, you got that book? Like I haven't even signed one of those yet. That's the first one I've ever signed. I'm glad you like it, And then you're like, "Oh, this dude's badass." Maybe they got him on a bad day. But that's what one of the things I've always worried about. Like I met Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell. They did that stupidest fucking movie I've ever seen in my
Yeah,
entire life. Was when they did that. What was the fucking name of
I can't think of
it?
it either. Oh,
Good guys.
Daddy, where he's like the stepdad.
No, that was Zach Galifianakis. Or no, no. This
Yeah,
is
yeah, I think
this
that
is
was.
the one where. Fuck, help me out, Thomas. You're the fucking movie guru. The one where they're police uh partners, and he drives the fucking Prius, and they're like the Prius, the other guys. Thank you,
Oh,
the other
okay.
guys. That's what it was. Like it was the. If you haven't seen it, don't. It's a fucking terrible movie. I love. I know everybody hates Will Ferrell. Like I love some of his movies. Like Step Brothers is fucking priceless.
Oh
Talladega
gosh.
Nights is another good one. And then one of my favorite ones. Fuck, I can't remember the name of it. Where they go streaking and
Oh,
oh,
it's about the frat house. I think it's called Old School.
Old School, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Old School. That is one of my favorites when he shoots himself in the neck with the
Yeah.
fucking. You're crazy. I like you, but you're
It's
crazy.
and Stifler.
Uh,
The poor guy who plays him, he'll always be Stifler for the rest of his life, but he's the
and for the
Stifler in
rest of
this
his
one.
life, Sean William Scott will always be Stifler. Yeah, Old School. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Mark Wahlberg does turn out stupid shit all the time, but Mark Wahlberg was really cool. Will Ferrell was kind of a fucking dick, and I didn't see that coming from him. Like he always plays this really super cool dude on screen, and he was really super cool on stage. Like he got on stage, I'll give a little bit of a backstory real quick. So they had this what the fuck's the word I'm looking for? Competition going on. What city could raise the most votes? Everybody from that city could go from anywhere in the world could vote for what city they wanted Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell to show up at when they were doing the preview for the other guys. And so St. Louis won, and they went to the Warenberg Theater out in THF Boulevard out in Chesterfield Bottoms. And so I was fucking amped because I voted every day. I was like, I want to meet these guys. They're fucking hilarious. Will Ferrell, and I like Marky Mark, Mr. Funky Bunch. He's done a lot of good movies, like when he did the movie with Four Brothers is one of my favorite movies that he's in. That is a phenomenal movie, uh, and he's got several other ones. But anyway, to go back to it. So that's how I got to meet him. Was we showed up to this. Uh, they had this huge stage set up, and he got up there and he's like, look. So St. Louis, all the rappers that come from St. Louis, they always have this fat gold chain. So they gave him the key to the city, and he brought this fat gold chain with him, and he put the key on it. And the key to the city is this like way over the top, oversized fucking key, and I still have a video of it somewhere. Like it's probably on one of the hard drives from my PC that crashed a while back. I'll have to try to find it so I can play it on here. But he's like, hey everybody in St. Louis, thanks for inviting me. I made sure I brought me a fat chain. He's like, check out my merch or something like that. And he's all leaning back and the fucking keys hanging from his neck, and it was really funny. But Mark was really cool. I got him to sign a couple of things as he walked by, but Will was just like not having it. He wasn't talking to anybody. Like Mark shook my hand and moved on. And I'm not somebody that fanboys over stuff, but I thought he was really professional of him. And Will Ferrell was, I don't know, maybe he was having a bad day. But
Could have
I would
been.
love to meet Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, Bruce seems like a cool guy. I've just interviews I've seen with him. And I read his book, Leading with My Chin, and everything about him. He just seems like a down to earth, easygoing guy. Just the fact that he prides himself on being a B movie actor, to me that just screams cool. So
Hail to the king, baby.
that's right. He has all the best catchphrases. The only
He
buddy who
does.
has as many good catchphrases as Bruce Campbell is The Rock. So
Oh my god, I can't believe. So I've been listening to this. They're gonna rumble. They're gonna take your face off by Tech Nine. And if you haven't heard of it, look up "They Gonna Rumble" by Tech Nine. Fucking The Rock does the very last rap core segment of the song. Like I've fucking been look at this. I've been listening to it for like the last year since it came out, and I just happened to randomly last night scrolling through YouTube. I was just like, scrolling through trying to find the song that I had heard during the day, but I forgot to say, like it on my Pandora playlist. And so like I know I'll never hear it again. So I was scrolling through all the Tech Nine songs, and it was like, The Rock uh, does a rap battle with Tech Nine. I'm like, no fucking way, because Tech Nine's from Kansas City, phenomenal rapper. He's got a lot of really good slow songs on there that really hit the heart for creators and stuff. And he's got songs where he talks about Comic Con and the Necronomicon in the same fucking song. Like I'm at a Comic Con with the Necronomicon, and because he goes to WonderCon in Kansas City. So he's a huge geek too. So that's how I got into his music, like back in like '99 when he first came on the rap scene. But I was laughing my ass off because it's like The Rock and Tech Nine do a rap duel. I was like, no fucking way. And like I've been listening to this song the whole time, and I'm like, the voice at the end of the song has always sounded real familiar. It's really the fucking Rock, and I'm like, there's no way. He's like, we have hunger, we have power, we devour, and like he fucking brings this presence and this energy to the end of the song, and I was just like, I had no clue. Like I knew that voice was familiar. It was Dwayne the Rock Johnson. I'm like, no way. And so I watched the music video that they did with him, and of course, he had that baby oil glow all over him and stuff, and when he came out, but I have to say it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. I
that'd
don't
be
know how
cool.
the fuck we got to talking about The Rock. I really don't.
I think I mentioned him as having as many catchphrases as Bruce Campbell.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh my god, that yeah, and it made me think of that. Why I said baby oils, because that's uh, the scene from Fast and the Furious. Better hide the baby oil. Better
Yeah.
hide that big ass forehead, because that wasn't even scripted. And fucking Ludacris, he spit his beer out all over the place because it just caught him off. So
That
yes.
great series that I think might have run too long.
Oh yeah, it's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ended at like 6. What are they on now? 9.
I don't know. I didn't see the newest one where they went into outer space.
Oh, I know, man. I'm actually excited to see that
Curious
because
to see.
I
DC's hit or miss with their movies.
They are. Everybody hated so much on Shazam. I never really watched it, and then I don't even know how I watched it. It was on some streaming service. Oh, I think it was on HBO Max. And I was like, hey, let's watch Shazam because it's a kids movie. The kids were up, and I couldn't find anything to watch, and I'm so tired of watching like Daniel Tiger and Lego. Ninja Go Go or Ninja Go, whatever it's called. I'm like, we're not
Ninjago,
watching
that's
another
it, because I know that one.
Ninjago. Yeah, there you go. So I'm like, we're not
Yeah.
watching Power Rangers. We're not watching Ninjago. I'm all powered out. I'm all ninja'd out. I'm all Daniel the Tiger and Doc McStuffin out. We are watching a superhero movie, and I'm like scrolling through. I'm like, no, we're not watching Harley Quinn. No, we're not watching this. I'm like, oh Shazam. I'm like, whatever, we'll watch it. I thought it was really good, and I was
It
like,
was
I was
good.
asking all my friends. I'm like, why did you hate this movie? I'm like, this was legitimately funny and entertaining. Like we actually watched it a second time. For once, I actually turned around a week later and watched it again just to try to catch the stuff I missed when the kids were up, because kids trying to keep a 6 and a 5-year-old quiet doesn't happen. So I watched it with the wife because she didn't get a chance to watch it. I had the kids by myself. And so we watched it again. I just had just as much fun the second time. So now that Black Adam's coming out, I'm super excited to see how The Rock does with it. Yes, it is great. It was a great
Yeah, I
movie.
agree.
And there
It
were
was
so
good.
many people bitching about it. I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
I would have liked. I have to admit, I know why they did it. They went with him as a teenager. I would have liked to really play with the Shazam concept of him being a kid and make him like an 8-year-old and really play with that innocence level of when he becomes where he looks like a full grown man as a superhero, but he still has the mentality of a child. I would have liked to have seen that. But that's just what I would have liked to have seen. For what it was, for what they used, I know why they made the decisions they did, and it was still a very good movie. It was a great, really sweet movie. I mean, you have all the elements. It's almost like The Last Starfighter, if anybody remembers that. It's this kid
Yes.
from like downtrodden life who gets this magic chance to be something great and does. And yeah, it's just a charming, sweet little movie. It wasn't the usual fare that we were getting from DC at the time, where it was all like dark and gritty and depressing, and it's kind of hopeful and just sweet. To me, that's the best word to describe it. It was a sweet, sweet movie, and that was something at the time they desperately needed.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think dark and gritty works really well with the Suicide Squad and the Peacemaker series, but outside of that, if you're doing superheroes, they're supposed to be kind of sweet and hopeful.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Well, I won't keep you all night. I'm going to give you the
okay.
full screen and give you a chance to give your elevator pitch and tell these great people one more time what this book is about.
All right, this is one of the covers for Moby Dick Back from the Deep. It's back on Kickstarter. This is our last time doing this because we have the final issue printed. So this is your chance to get the whole thing, all 5 issues, all in one shot if you haven't climbed aboard before. So yeah, you definitely want to. It's Moby Dick back in modern times as a zombie, still being hunted by the zombified remains of Captain Ahab and his crew. There's monsters, there's mayhem, there's death, there's devastation, there's everything you could want in a horror movie, and it leaves out the one thing no horror movie likes: there is no closure whatsoever.
What happened? Did he get kicked? What happened to you, Matt? I left to go get one of the cats out of. He knocked something off and you're gone. All right. So, anyway, I don't know what happened to Matt. Either he got kicked or Homeboy did his pitch and he ducked out. I'm like, and it goes to me. So anyway, guys, thanks so much for being here tonight. I apologize. I had to run off and go get one of the cats. Yesterday, they broke our wedding vase. So Tiffany wasn't very happy about this. So I heard something about the fall and I went to go save whatever it was. And I come back and he's gone. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for checking out Moby Dick, Back from the Deep. Definitely check out the Kickstarter. I'm going to throw the link in there one more time. I'm sorry, Matt. I had to run off for a second and come back. So there's the link for it. Go check it out. Look forward to doing the live reading on Tuesday. So I'm excited. Tuesday. Launching the project on Tuesday for Just Beyond Towels. And I'm so excited to do the live reading of book one. I'll let you guys get in on there, ask questions about the series, what you guys want think about that. And other than that, um, please join us Tuesday night. We are going to be doing the launch of Just Begun. Super excited about it. We'll probably launch at 8:30. We'll be live at 8 o'clock. We'll let Tiffany do her pitch, talk about her business, what she does a little bit, the things she can do. If anybody's interested in getting anything outside of the project, or you want to back the project and get one of the add-ons on there where you can get the mug and all that stuff, then please definitely check that out. Guys, please go check out his project, Moby Dick, Back from the Deep, and as well as his kids book series and the Monster Hunter book. Um, Go back it, support it, show it some love, throw a dollar at it if you can, and if you can't throw a dollar at it, at least share it out in an original post and let your friends see it, because sharing is caring. Anyway, as usual, this is Rust Exposed Studios, the projects that will blow your mind. You folks have a great night and a great week. Uh, I will see you guys Tuesday night for the launch. Stay clean, folks.